Hi, everyone. My name is Will. This is my co-host, Ethan, and together we make the Backpew Podcast. We welcome you on this episode 37. We have an extra amazing show for you today. We appreciate you tuning in. Here on the Backpew, we talk about a lot of different things, but essentially we talk about our life in Christ and how it affects different things in our lifestyle. So just because we're not talking about the Word doesn't mean that we can't be Christians. And so as Christians, we do other things that aren't the Bible. So we talk about other things that aren't always Bible, but we definitely always keep Jesus at the center. Isn't that right, Ethan?
That's right, bro.
So this episode, we're going to talk about the overturn of the Free the Nipple movement, Kanye becoming a Christian and putting out a gospel album, and devotionals. So we hope you like it. It's going to be a great show. Let us know what you thought. Hit us up on Instagram, BackPewPod. So Ethan, let's get into the show.
Let's dive in.
Right. Let's dive on in. Oh, I put some chalk on a minute ago so I can pimp slap you if you get to talking back like you be doing.
Whoa.
Ooh, good thing that we're not here because we probably would smack each other.
Oh, we would definitely fight.
Do you think the long distance is good for our relationship, Ethan?
For our relationship, yes, definitely.
What about for relationships, period? Like male-female relationships, long distance. How do you feel about that?
I think that it's healthy to go through a phase if it's presented, if the opportunity presents itself for you to get away from your significant other. I think it's healthy for the relationship, yeah, but I don't think it's a make or break thing. Not at all.
Okay.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. You know why? Mainly because of inconvenience. Like I'm on some of these apps, as you well know, and listeners have heard me speak on before, different people, homegirls and things like that.
Homegirl.
Before, And anyway, there's a lot more options that I would be open and have available to me if I would just set my mile perimeter a little bit further.
I bet you have it on like 1 mile, don't you?
It's like 50, and it really should be like 120. These apps really
let's be
don't
honest,
work
it should be
that
like
well.
200, bro.
Yeah, but I'm not traveling 200 miles to see anybody. Unless you move away and I'm already in love with you, I'm not following you all over the God's green earth to come see you. Like I want to get off work randomly and I want to be led by my emotions and just randomly feel like I want to come see you tonight and then stop by. Right?
What's up, girl? What's up, girl? What you know about that?
Hey, I lost my number. Can I get yours?
Let me grab yours real quick.
Girl, you know my name's Will, right? God's will for your life.
I will marry.
I will marry you. So, yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of long distance. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I just want the convenience. So, and, I really, like I said, I'm on these apps, but, truth be told, I just would like to meet someone in person.
I mean, you might have to go out for that, bro. You don't really go out, do you?
Like tonight I'm going to go see Bone Thugs and Harmony. We're recording this episode on Thursday, so I'm going to go to the fairground where all the crazies are. So I'm going to be exposed to a lot of wildness. But, the reason I don't go out a lot is because that's where the wild things are. Lions, tigers, bears. There's a lot of wild, oh my. So I just don't like to be exposed to too much wildness, and anytime I venture out, I love wildness, but maybe tamed wildness.
You don't like wilding?
Wild out, wild out, wild out. I know you're a big fan of Wildin' Out on MTV. I am a big fan
of Wildin' Out, yeah.
Justina Valentine is my favorite. Not only is she hot.
I figured she would be, yeah.
Yeah, but she's literally the most talented rapper on the show. And while she might not be the funniest, and a lot of the talent on the show is about being funny, she is without a doubt the best freestyler on the show. And freestyling is something I've been passionate about since I was probably 13 or 14 versus comedy, which I really am a big fan of comedy, but I respect just because I'm more partial to freestyle, and I guess I'm more of a fan of hers.
Gotcha. I think I feel like Chico Bean's really good.
Oh, he's great. Hey, Chico, I think Chico definitely 85. What is that? 85 down
85
South show.
85 South. Is
what's his name though? The two guys.
Chico Bean, DC Young Fly, and the guy with the beard. The guy with the beard.
They're coming to Tulsa in a couple weeks.
So I'm coming to Tulsa in a couple weeks.
Listen, I think I'm gonna go. Or it might not be Tulsa. It might be OKC. But either way,
Carlos
I'm definitely
Miller.
going to go.
Carlos Miller, that's his name. Carlos
Man, they're
Meyer.
so funny. And the funny thing
Hilarious.
is they have DC Young Fly. They have him doing things like remakes of old ghetto movies like from back in the day. He's like any old ghetto guy like that used to be in the shows. Now he's replacing them when they do the remakes.
Right.
It's really funny. I don't know. I really like all those guys, and those guys wouldn't be where they are without their podcast and mainly Wildin' Out.
Yeah, definitely Nick Cannon, their podcast, you know.
But Nick Cannon's underrated, man. He's been with Mariah Carey. He's had multiple TV shows on major networks like MTV, NBC.
I think
all
he's
these
still
guys.
He's on Wild 'N Out, but he also does one of those weird game shows on Fox.
I think he used to. Does he still do it?
Yeah, I've seen it on the commercials and stuff when I'm trying to watch the game. Yeah.
That guy's making money, man.
Oh yeah,
And
he's rolling in
and
the
he
dough.
always has a beautiful woman around him.
Always.
But can you imagine being married to, Mariah Carey when she's so much older than you and been such a diva and celebrity so much longer than you?
I don't know. That
would be wild, man.
That's
But Mariah
scary,
Carey
dude,
was
honestly.
one of my favorite. I said favorite. I meant to say one of my first crushes. Do you know Mariah Carey's album covers at all?
No, I know the Christmas one and then the one where she's all in gold or something, but no, not really.
Yeah, there's one. The one I remember, the first album I ever heard, she's like laying real sexy, sort of more like glamorous than sexy, I guess, and her hair's all flowy. I can't remember the songs that are on there, but she did songs with Mace. Listen, I remember like this. Anyway, it's irrelevant. But yeah, man,
Irrelevant.
irrelevant.
Let's teach a word on the back pew. Unrelevant.
Let's do a segment. No, so yeah, man, I really like that clip from last week's episode where I taught you stenographer. And the truth is, you said I taught it to you, but I think you knew it. Am I right?
I did, but
it
wasn't registering in my head what it was.
See, that takes away from my thunder because I really felt like I taught you a word.
No, I mean,
But
in the
instead, I
moment
just
you really
reminded
did.
you.
I was like, that's what a stenographer is. So it's good. It's all good.
I
The
could be a
DJ horn
stenographer.
stuff, bing, 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 like that was totally called for. Totally called for.
I
You did
wish
it.
we
You're
had
a
it
winner.
on the show real time.
You're a winner.
Man, thank you, bro. Hey, I'm a winner, and I make it rain. You know what I'm saying?
You're an old white guy with a top hat.
That's okay. I'm going to be an old white guy someday with an old top hat. And
Hey.
I better be making it rain like this.
We sure hope so.
So I'm excited about Bone Thugs tonight. Maybe I'll meet some young women out there that love Jesus and Bone Thugs. They love Jesus, but they'll punch you in the face. So, I mean, it's really hard out here. Whenever you love Jesus and love Bone Thugs, it's hard to find the right.
It's
the
hard,
right fit.
man. Bone Thugs, the Fugees.
Yeah, exactly. Ready or not, here I come.
Hey, praise
Wycliffe.
the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. So anyway, man, how's your week been?
Bro, I've been chilling.
You've been chilling? We haven't talked this much. We haven't talked very much, Like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing we have a podcast because we might not talk.
We probably wouldn't talk if we didn't have a podcast.
Man,
Hey,
why?
But you're one of my best friends, though. You're one of my best friends.
Hey, you're one of my favorite people, one of my best friends, and the main reason is because the older I get, it's because we make time for each other, and it's because of this podcast, I think. But here's the thing, like that's the reason I think we bonded well, not because of the podcast, but because we had somewhere to be at a certain time, and we did it around something, meaning like we traveled. Anytime I travel, I make deeper relationships and bonds with the people that I'm with. And like I make better memories, and so I love to travel for that reason with people because it just deepens relationships. But that's the thing, man, is back in the day I didn't mind talking on the phone. I knew a lot of guys would like be bothered by talking on the phone. I was never against it, but now that I'm a little bit older, like I despise it, And the truth is I just stay busy. I don't like talking on the phone I say despise, that might be a strong word, but it's definitely not my preferred thing. And I think the difference for me personally is I don't think it's like this for every guy. But the main thing is I just have so much more to do. So I'm not like just looking to do things to fill my time to have fun.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm trying to fit in fun in my things to do. It's different.
Right.
So
Right, you're busy. You're busy now.
So I feel bad because there's people like I was thinking about. I was just looking on Instagram a little while ago, and one of the guys, it's like I'm lucky because with him, he and I just got each other, and so we kind of don't require each other to put in a lot of time to our relationship. But then once one of us will reach out then it's just good in that moment, and then it's fun, and then we let it go. It's not like, I reached out this time, you better reach out next time, But see, for me, I would be friends with a lot more people, but they don't reach out back to me, and I just feel, I've let that kind of take over. Plus with my busyness, so now I just don't do a good job of like making time for relationships.
I feel you. I don't mesh people. I don't mesh well with people that are like, oh, I reached out this time, so you reach out next time. If they have that attitude, we're not gonna. It's just not gonna happen. Sorry.
But the thing about and I'm kind of the same way. I don't know if I feel about it the exact same way you do.
Yeah, I mean, I make conscious effort to not grow with those people. That's an attitude I don't want around me, because I know it's gonna rub me the wrong way, and it's gonna be worse than not being friends. We're gonna be we're gonna be like not cool. Like I'd rather just not be close.
It's kind of exhausting.
I'm not that way at all. So, whatever.
Yeah, man. But one thing is for sure, this relationship, Ollie, man, I spend a ton of time with him at work. Probably too much time, both for him and I. I'm sure it takes away. But at the same time, even whenever I feel like we're, I don't think he would call it wasting time, but maybe we're not specifically working all the time. Like I always walk away better, and so does he. So I'm grateful for that, and it never takes away from my time of working, because I just basically make up the time. So I may have spent an hour between 1:30 and 2:30 running off at the mouth about something not related to work, but I feel like I walked away as a better person. So instead of me just using that hour, because I'm not paid hourly, I just make sure that I get as much work done, And so that's the great thing about my position that I really am blessed to have is, it's not so much about be here from 8:30 to 5. It's more about just, hey, let's get the job done. However you want to do it, that's up to you,
Yeah, my position is definitely 8 to 5, but the issue that I have, I don't really have a problem with that, because I know you got to put your time in before you can kind of move up.
Sure.
But it's just that my job requirements aren't 8 to 5. Like, it's
like they don't really require you, even though you're required to be there. Is that what you're saying?
Right. It's like it's to fill the position, and it's like.
But here's what I'll ask you, man. I mean, do you think? Here's the deal. The truth is, a lot of people, if they didn't have that structure in their life, like, I don't know if they would get as much done. Like, for instance, I love to read books, but if I don't have the accountability, like from Rhema or when I was at GV, or now we have a book a month here, at Strong Family, I don't know, even though I want to read it, if I would or not. Now, I listen to audiobooks. I probably listen to 2 or 3 audiobooks a month, or 2 or 3 in 2 months. I don't know. It just depends. But I never sit down and read them. I want to, but it's really hard. But I'll listen to them. So I don't know. I guess my question is, do you think that you would be able to handle all of it without that imaginary requirement?
For sure. And I only say that because I've done it already. Like, there's been days where I have to work from home, and then there's times where customers call or sales calls and stuff after 5 that I'm just like, yeah, I'll take care of it, and I just handle it. So that's the only reason. Like, it's not some big pride thing. Like, I should be at home. Like, I don't mean it like that. It's just,
I hear you. The truth is I can work from home for this job, but I come here. They don't require me to come, but the truth. There's a lot of different reasons why, but I just feel like I'm more focused here. When I'm at home, everyone aspires to want to work at home, right? Oh, I want to work at home, work from home. But like, my dogs are there, they're distracting. I, have family members that live with me, that's distracting. I just, the lights, even though I don't like these type of fluorescent lights, I'd rather have these than darkness, or I say darkness. I would rather it be dark versus low lit, and at home my house is sort of low lit. There's a lot of windows. I don't know. I just feel more productive getting out and being able to see people and have relationships and stuff.
No, I get you, man. And ideally, especially with the degree that I'm pursuing, ideally it'd be where I can work from home, but I have my office, like at the office. Like, I still have my space at the office, so I can just go back and forth. If I really need to hammer something out, I can go to the office and just put my head down and get it done. And if it's just sales stuff, I can do it from home, and whatever. But
anybody that has any goals to work from home one day, because I used to, and I have quite a bit, not just for this job. I've actually been an independent contractor since 2015. Whenever I started my second year at Global Ventures as an intern at that time, I started working. I mean, I would go to the office, but I wasn't required to, so I worked a lot from home.
Are you still doing that, the insurance thing? Is that what that is that you're referring to? Are you still doing that?
No, I mean that's still the same organization, but since 2015, I started doing DJing. So I was doing sales from home, and I would just go on the weekends to do DJ gigs. But I did a lot of sales from home. So, and
you're probably a really cool DJ.
The DJing thing was fun. You know what? I did wedding DJing, right? So there's definitely different genres of DJing, if you will.
Right.
And the wedding thing, if I can be frank, it just got tired, boring.
Yeah.
It's the same thing every time.
Were there any fights? I mean, I guess you wanted to see fights. That's what you wanted?
No, definitely not. Definitely didn't want to see fights.
If you have anything to say it now or hold your peace. You were really hoping that somebody would say something and be like, nah,
man,
they shouldn't be murdered. They shouldn't get murdered.
That would be wild. I never saw anything super crazy at weddings.
That's probably
except for people start to strip and stuff. I mean, that's different, but that's kind of expected. Especially when My Pony by Genuine comes on every time. It's for real, man. If you want a song that immediately, gets people inspired to follow the Free the Nipple movement, just turn on
Free
Pony
the Nipple
by Genuine.
Speaking of the nipples, didn't the law get overturned? Is that what you told me?
It did, yeah. I mean, they kind of, the news didn't make
We're free. Put them up.
Oh, put them back. Dude, I saw this funny picture of Free the Nipples or something, and it was like these boobies just flapping everywhere. It was wild. I'll send it to you, but I won't show you. Don't
send that to me. This is on the podcast. Don't send that to me.
So, but yeah, man, the news and channels never really made a huge deal out of everything about the law. The only time I actually saw, well, they put it on their website, but they weren't like doing video footage. But then, so not. I think it happened on a Thursday or Friday, and then on a Sunday they had on 41st and Riverside here in Tulsa, if you're familiar, they had roller skate on Riverside topless. So these women were roller skating topless, and there was 150 people that lined up to watch because it was a scheduled event on Facebook. So all these people knew about it. I knew about it Friday afternoon, before I left work. People were telling me they might go. So, that
Los Cabos on Riverside was probably getting a lot of business.
Very true. It was probably a good day.
Yeah.
So, I think that's why I don't know all the details. It doesn't matter all the politics and laws of it. But yeah, basically it got overturned. So that was it. I think the roller skating thing put it over. If they'd have just chilled,
they wouldn't have gone roller skating. You could have left your boobies out.
But so I don't know. I'm glad because I was a little worried.
Yeah. I feel like you would have to go to Turkey Mountain to watch it if you were trying to not be in trouble. No, I'm just working out, babe. I'm just working out. I'm taking a hike up Turkey Mountain, just looking across the river.
No, I had a work thing on Sunday, at 4:00, right at the same time.
Right. I had a lunch meeting over on Riverside. Sorry,
Everybody started pulling out their rollerblades that they hadn't worn in 10 years. They don't even fit anymore.
Can you imagine one of those girls just taking a dive, just wiping out while she's...
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they don't have booby... what is it called?
Elbow pads for your boob.
Yeah, boob pads, man.
She just goes down.
They might, whenever they free the nipple, they might erase it because it just street burn.
Rips it off, yeah.
Ouch. That would be terrible. Yeah, man, overturning another... So a changed mind, that reminds me of Kanye. He was going to put out a gospel album on Friday morning. He was supposed to come out with one, right?
Did he come out with it?
He did not. He was supposed to come out with one. Now, here's a funny thing. I don't know if everyone will remember this, but Tuesdays used to be the day that albums used to be released. It was like a normal thing, with CDs and stuff.
Yeah, New Music Tuesdays, yep.
Yeah, it's good. I used to go to Goodies to pick up albums, certain head shops. I remember picking up the Eminem album. And anyway, but so now it's Fridays. Fridays are music release dates. And so the only time I ever look, do you have Apple Music? Do you pay for it?
I don't.
Okay.
I have Spotify because I'm better.
The only time I use what, Spotify?
Spotify.
Yeah, I used to.
Spotify.
Anyway. But so the only time I ever look at Browse is on Friday mornings to see what albums came out, And so anyway, I've been looking forward to the Kanye album for I don't know, at least 2 or 3 weeks because I knew he was coming out with the gospel album. And all this news about him being a Christian is out. Have you been seeing a lot of it?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of it.
So let's talk about that for a second. But anyway, the gospel album didn't come out yet. I mean, so I'm bothered by that because it was promised, and then they said it would come out by 8 o'clock Friday night, and it didn't come out, and then it was coming out Sunday, and it didn't come out. So I don't know. It really increased my desire for the album, but now it's like taking away my desire for the album. But because it's gospel and it's a new genre for him, I'm still going to check it out as soon as it hits. So
I hear that.
But what do you think? I don't know. Update us on the news. Are you going to check it out?
I'm definitely going to check it out because I really enjoyed Snoop Dogg's gospel album, but Snoop Dogg wasn't on most of the tracks. Like most of the tracks were a lot of that feature.
Yolanda, Adams.
and Ty Tribbett and all these people, and so it was a lot of them with just the producing of Snoop Dogg. Right. So it was like cool, and I'm totally fine with that. Great songs. I still listen to some of those songs when I'm in the mood for, a gospel pick me up kind of when I'm in that kind of mood, But I'd like to think that Kanye's music is going to feature a lot of Kanye. And so I would like to hear it, critiquing Lee or criticizing Lee or whatever. I would like to hear more Snoop Dogg on the Snoop Dogg gospel album, or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. But me and Haley were talking about Kim and Kanye because he got a ranch up in the northern United States.
Calabasas.
Yeah, whatever. And she was doing some interview or something, and they were talking about, I think it was like on Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel or something. And they were talking about, so you're going to move up to Minnesota? You're going to move up to North Dakota or whatever? She was like, no, definitely not.
Well, Travis Scott and Kylie split.
Yeah, and now their kid doesn't have no parents. That's a bad joke.
Yeah,
sorry.
Divorce isn't good for anybody.
That's a bad joke. But what I meant was the only thing that I saw about their split was they didn't come to a custody agreement. So, Kylie's assistant is the kid's new parents. So, whatever.
That's super real, bro.
You don't like that joke? Because it's true. It's true. It is.
They got nannies for days, huh?
Exactly. And none of the nannies are the kid's actual nanny, Like, I had a nanny, and she was my real-life nanny. And she was my mom's mom. I
know. My grandmother, yeah. I had a nanny, too.
A nanny. But
that's like the number one job for teenage women and like young. I don't know. I think it's like YouTuber, nanny. Like that's in the order of what women want to be these days.
YouTuber, Instagram influencer.
Yeah, I mean
nanny. Honestly,
if they could be a nanny that was on YouTube and an Instagram influencer, done. Bro, honestly, if it was like acceptable for men to be around kids as much as nannies are around kids, I would probably go for it, honestly. No, I've babysat once. Never
I can't, but like if I see value in the relationship with this family and that kid, which like money is the value, I would do it.
How much do you pay?
Yeah, if that was involved, I would definitely do it. But like you leave a kid with me now, and I'm like, no. Not my kid.
But I don't know. Do you, in all reality, like jokes aside, do you think it would be a cool gig for a man, or let's say for a woman? Do you think it would be a cool gig for a woman to work for Kanye and Kim and be the nanny, or Kylie and Scott? I mean, I think it could be. Yeah,
for sure. I guess my original comment about how the kids' parents are the assistants is that the people freaking out about them not coming to a custody agreement miss the point of the kids still not having anyone there for them. Like they're all freaking out about Kylie and Travis, but they don't seem to. They act like they're caring about the kid, but they're not. They don't mention the nanny life. That happens to a lot of people, and they're super successful and they have all the money in the world. Like that's just how it works. But
I'll tell you what, people with money move different, bro.
They really do.
They move really different. Money is power, bro.
I'm pretty sure their hearts pump different too.
Their hearts pump?
No, their hearts pump different. They breathe different. They see through different eyes. Man, they're weirdos. The more money you get, the more weird you get. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Weird, like not normal.
No, I hear you. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the album, but for me, let's talk about Kanye being a Christian for a minute. I mean, do you have any thoughts?
My initial thought is that it's like, why is it such a big deal? but I kind of understand because living that rap lifestyle is contrary to Christian living.
Well, how about this? Every single time that I went to go check for that gospel album by Kanye, his last single was something like "I love hoeing" or "You're a hoe, I love it," or something like that. And so every single time I checked for this gospel album, it said something like "You're a hoe, I love it," and there's a picture with this chick with this fat booty on the cover album. You know, I'm like, ooh, I just want to see the gospel album. You know, luckily
like,
I don't find that
Kim.
big of a booty that
Kim.
attractive.
That's not Kim. No,
Yeah,
that is not your wife, sir.
Yeah. And why are you calling this woman a hoe, sir? So,
well, okay, in that case, I hope it's not his wife. You know?
Well, anyway, yeah, man.
I don't know. I mean, good for him. I don't. Celebrities, I take everything. I take everything celebrities say with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, whenever here's what I have to say about the topic. I'm excited for him. I believe that he's experiencing actual spiritual transformation. I think he's encountering God in new ways, and I think he's excited about it. And I think he's Kanye, so he's going to express himself about it. And I'm fine with all of that.
Big.
But what people like us, peasants, you know, as I referred to ourselves last week, we just start putting people on a pedestal, you know. So I remember when Kanye first started really like basically putting it out there that he cared for Trump, you know, I kind of agree with what Tommy Loren said, and she was like, look, you know, don't like blow this out of proportion because he's on this side with Trump right now, because tomorrow he might not be, and he might say something stupid about Trump. So it's like we don't need to put him on a pedestal, essentially.
For
and
sure.
I feel the same exact sentiments about him as a believer. Like, you know, I think people just start getting so excited. You know, I keep seeing Kanye in 3 or 4 different posts about him. You know, everyone's talking about him becoming a Christian, all these different Christian headlines about him. And then I keep seeing the same headline that's been true for months now. Justin Bieber leads worship for the first time. I've seen that like a billion times now, and it's like 2 months old, really. But I saw it fresh yesterday like it was brand new. But it's like, here we are, Justin Bieber, who sang, well, it doesn't matter what he's saying. I don't want to say it. But he said bad things a couple of years ago when he was a child. He said he was singing the N-word and talking about if he was in the Ku Klux Klan, there would be one less N-word. And he sang it with a melodic hymn. You know, it was like weird. But it was like when he was a kid. It's like old video footage. Yeah. I don't know how he's ever made it this far, you know, because of it, just for that one video.
Wow.
I think if the climate was as I don't know, charged as it is now with certain race things, I don't think he would have. But and I think people
that just lets you know that people who the cancel culture thing is targeted because they haven't targeted him yet, so he's still out here doing his thing, and other people they have something from eons ago and they get canceled over it. Like that's just proof right there that it's all targeted. It's just a few people, loud people. It's not regular people, you know.
Well, you know, to your point, it's targeted, and it's just we decide we like this person or we don't like this person.
Right.
You know, like I know people right now, people that try to cancel somebody. It's like, nah, I like this person's music, so I'm not gonna cancel them. You know. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll still get down to don't stop till you get enough. No, not R. Kelly. I mean, I still get down because like it came on. Me and Haley went dancing a couple weekends ago, and that song came on. You know, keep on, don't stop. And all these old white people are out there thinking they're cool, but like she was like, I ain't dancing to this. You see what he did to them boys? And I was like, hey, I don't care. I just keep it right here. You know, like,
2-step. Yeah, you know, cancel culture is. I want it to go away. I really
do too.
If there's ever a time that I should be praying for this country, it should be right now. I should pray for this country.
But we're not. No. So.
Yeah, I'm not. You know, I'm just not. I don't do enough praying for my own self to worry about that.
You're a bad Christian, man. You're a bad Christian.
I'm not the greatest for sure. But
cool.
yeah, man. So, but I am excited for Kanye. I think if he really does have this transformation and he commits to it, then he'll make a wave and. He'll be an influencer for Christ, and who doesn't want that? I think we all want people like Eminem or Madonna, any big name, Kanye, whoever, to be an influencer for Christ. The only thing about Kanye is, You know, and this will kind of segment us out of here, but like, you know, I saw a post yesterday. It was from this black person, and I specifically mentioned the race because right now a lot of black people are turning their back on Kanye because of Trump, you know, because of his alliance with Trump. And, you know, it's like I saw this post from this person that posted it yesterday, and it said, I would rather hang out with George W. Bush than Kanye. And it's like, Kanye specifically said George Bush doesn't care about black people back in the day. I don't know if you know about this. So everyone hated Bush. Everyone hated Bush because of Kanye. Now people are hating Kanye and saying they would rather hang out with George Bush. It's like people are so fickle, and so the reason I bring that up is because, one, you gotta know who you are and who your friends are and where you get your validation comes from, and that should really only come from God. Mm-hmm. And you really just can't let criticism or praise be what fuels you. You know, you got to you can't let either one affect you too much, because if you do, whenever it's good, it's going to affect you. Whenever it's bad, it's going to affect you more than it should.
Right.
You need to be a stable person.
You're just going to be riding this up and down roller coaster, really a waste of time, really. Instead
of your name being Neo, you might just be a yo-yo. Up and down, up and down.
Oh, okay.
That didn't hit as hard as I wanted.
No bars in the back pew today.
I mean, it's like my free throw. I just shoot, and I think it's a no-brainer, like a done deal, and then it bounces off the backboard.
Yeah, it's like nothing but net. It's just nothing. You know?
It's just nothing. No net.
No net. Nothing.
Are you any good at basketball?
No.
Yeah.
Heavens, no.
Yeah, me
I
either.
can maybe get through with some soccer.
Not me.
Maybe.
Is soccer, like when you were growing up, was soccer like a thing in Texas?
Oh, yeah. I played soccer when I was a kid. I was just not competitive. I didn't stay in it. Like, kids would run at me to get the ball when I had the ball, and I'm like, take it. I don't care what team you're on. Like, don't push me down. I wasn't competitive at all. So after a couple of years, my parents were like, you don't want to do this, do you? And I was like, nope. So they're like, we're not paying for it. But I sure do like to watch football and baseball and basketball now. I sure do like to watch it now.
Do you get like real riled up about it?
I do.
Does it ruin your weekend?
No. It just, I don't know where, I'll be honest, I don't know where it came from. It came out of nowhere, me liking this stuff. Baseball, I can say that I started liking baseball because when we moved into my in-laws, they had like the sports package, and I was watching from the beginning of the season the Astros play and go through, and then that's the year that they won the World Series, was that season after that. And so I was like really into it. I knew the players, but I could watch it. When most of the time I can't catch a game. Before that, I couldn't catch a game because all I had was Netflix. Can't watch the Astros on Netflix, you know. So I never got into it because I never was into it. But then when I'm like sitting there doing nothing and watching reruns, watching highlights, and staying up with it, like it kind of changed. And then that kind of gave into basketball and football, and here I am, a sports fan now. And it's like, where did this come from? But that's probably what it was.
So was your dad not a sports guy?
No, he was a sports fan. He was super into boxing. Actually, some of his notes that I read through, like that he would write sermons and stuff for when he would go preach at the jail and stuff like that. There's a lot of boxing references and historical football references and stuff like that. He was big into sports. My mom's really big into baseball, or the sport
your
of
mom.
baseball. Yeah. She doesn't really keep up with it.
Sure, she wasn't just into baseball players.
No, that was football players she was into. No. She.
Mom, how do you know Emmitt Smith?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? Vince Gill is coming over. What?
Wow.
Vince Gill. Sorry, that's a country singer. Wrong Vince. My bad.
I wouldn't have known. I'm like the worst sports guy. I used to care about baseball a lot, but now I just after. Go ahead.
I'm kind of embarrassed I said Vince Gill. I meant somebody completely different. And
the good news is we can cut it out, or you can just embarrass yourself for the sake of content.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway,
that's the
used
funny
to be a big
thing.
Sports guy.
Well, I was gonna say real quick. That's the funny thing about having a podcast and putting your life on the internet. It's like we actually are probably growing so much just from having a podcast, because not only are you bettering your communication skills, you're strengthening public speaking, but not only that, but like you're embracing this humility thing where you like really expose yourself. Like
Yeah,
thing.
vulnerable.
That's the thing about like, influencers, Logan Paul, people, whoever. There's a million of them, but like these people don't get the credit about like what it takes emotionally, internally to be able to share things and be open. And of course, we're not famous, right? So, imagine them being on such a bigger scale with everyone having so many different opinions. Speaking of what we were just talking about, like if we grow, or whatever, if we were in positions where we were really known, like, I don't know, maybe Steven Furtick or something like that, it's like, man, these people get a lot of different opinions. A lot of people say things about them. So, it really bothers people. Who was it? I was just listening. Yesterday, next month October is Pastor Appreciation Month, or it has Appreciation Day or week or something. And so basically we have Pastor Mark was out of town last night, and one of the other pastors, Pastor Philip, was saying, look, we want to do something for him. But one thing I want to tell you is they're trying to and this is like a secret, so nobody from the back pew tell anybody like Pastor Mark. I doubt it's going to get to him. I know Rusty listens, your pastor, to our show every week, so Rusty
He definitely doesn't. He definitely does not listen to our
He probably
podcast.
doesn't even know we have a podcast, does he?
He probably didn't even know that I go to his church.
He probably doesn't even know, I was going to say.
Yeah, even though I sit on the front row every day, but he probably didn't know that I'm there. Like, he really doesn't.
It's funny.
I really doubt it.
Shout out, Pastor Rusty. But, man, wish your pastors, appreciation this month sometime. Check the calendar. But so what he was saying is, as a pastor, like, you don't realize whether good or bad, how much it really penetrates your heart and your feelings, like what people say, And so it's like, imagine being a celebrity. Here's the funny part. Maybe you can speak to it. I don't know if you will or not, but it's funny how I want to do this. Like, I'm a part of podcasts, like I'm big into social media and all this different stuff. But when I was young, I knew at a young age, and even to this day, I feel this way. But I never have wanted to be famous. I don't want people following me. I don't want people to know all my business. I want privacy. I want to be able to walk into Walmart and not, be bothered. Mm-hmm. Should I go late at night to Walmart sometimes just so I don't run into people in my community?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It just is what it is. But
yeah.
But, so it's funny how I find this, but here's what I know is if you have attention, then you can turn it into monetary gain. If you have attention, you can use it for influence. So for me, it's like here's the part, though, that I don't know that I've considered enough is I see the benefits, but am I willing to pay the price? Mm-hmm. Like today I was talking to Ollie, and he was talking about Gary Vee. You know who he is, yeah? Yeah.
Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, Gary Vaynerchuk. So he was saying that he was referencing possibly doing it. I doubt it'll ever happen. But basically, Gary Vee was saying that he wanted to do something like Disconnect December, And here it is. Here he is, Gary Vaynerchuk, this social media guy who anytime you open your feed, if you follow him, you see something from him. Yeah, I mean, he just saturates your feed. It's wild how much content. He spends over $1 million on payroll just for people to market and to edit and do his content, right?
That's crazy, man.
Just for that, not even talking about his business. Mm-hmm. So, but he was talking about that. And so Ollie was saying, no, he has an obligation. He can't disconnect. Like, he has signed up. He's put himself in a position. He isn't allowed. He's accountable. He shouldn't be able to disconnect. I said, Ollie, look, I'm not so devoted to him. I don't owe him anything, so he doesn't owe me. And he has so much content that if I want to go back and watch or listen to any of it, then I can just go find something else in the month of December if he wants to take the month off. He's saying, no, if you put yourself in this type of influencer position, you're accountable to people, so you can't just disappear. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I disagreed with him, but I see where he's coming from. But, yeah, so all that to say, I guess I haven't really outweighed, like, what if this blew up? I'm not, like, over being arrogant here, but I'm just saying, like, practically, let's say this turned into, I don't know, let's say we had 1 million followers and people love the Backview podcast because we are making amazing content, and I think we're doing something niche and we know what we're doing finally, and basically I don't think anyone else is doing it, and I think
and our growth as far as like listeners and stuff is growing exponentially, at a steady pace and stuff. So I mean, it's going. We could do some more marketing, but that's on both of us.
Well, for sure.
I see what you're saying.
There's a million things we can do. There's a million things, but I guess my point is, so let's say next year we have 1 million followers all of a sudden for whatever reason because we did more marketing, and And so now what? What would that be like? You know, how would that affect our lifestyles? What would be the downside? You know what I mean? Because there would be downsides.
I feel like me and you would probably get into it a little more. That's probably the first thing off the top of my head.
Okay, why?
Because I would probably be like, nah, forget them. You know, just like, nah, I'm like glad they listen, but I don't really, if their opinion doesn't mesh with my line of thinking, I'm going to make a decision and I'm going to stick to it. And then you'd probably stick up for them, or vice versa. You'd be like, forget him, man. Don't forget him. I'm like, no, I really want to pander to this guy. I want to really, and then that's probably where we would not see eye to eye
Okay, so
anymore.
more problems between us, and what else? What about publicly? What about our lifestyle? What about, I don't know.
I don't really see anything changing in my lifestyle because of notoriety. I would probably get new shocks on my truck because right now my truck sounds like.
Oh, I didn't say we had $1 million. I said we had followers.
No. I know. I'm just saying if someone saw me driving around in my truck and they were like, "Hey, look, that's Ethan," and they pulled out their phone and film it and try to put it on Instagram, I don't want my truck going the way that it is right now. Like, it's a little ridiculous. So
That's fun.
I'd probably get new shocks on my truck. But yeah, nothing else really.
Yeah, something to think about, I think, because
Yeah,
I don't know.
I already
I do
care
think-
about how I look. Like, not a lot, obviously. I need to shave, so. But
obviously.
obviously, but
would you wear a Make It Rain shirt?
I probably wouldn't wear a Make It Rain shirt.
Man, do you like my shirt or no?
I mean, I like your shirt on you.
Is it inappropriate?
No, not at all.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Everybody wants to make it rain.
It's like back pew appropriate, right?
Bro, that's a worship song, isn't it? Make it rain.
Let
Make it rain.
That's one of my favorites, actually. I love when God makes it rain. What if this is how God dressed? What if God was an old guy with a top hat?
With a top hat and a curly beard.
You ever notice this guy never looks older, though?
Mustache.
I mean, he's looked like this forever. Just like God.
It's because he's a cartoon.
You think God shaves and stuff? He does no shave November?
I feel like God shaves, yeah.
He's like a clean cut guy?
No, I think he just does it to change it up. He's like, it's been a couple thousand years.
Yeah, I'll switch it up, yeah.
Yeah, we'll switch it up.
I feel that because I like to switch it up, and we're made in his image.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know. But, I'm already conscious of how I look. Like, I wear baseball caps because I didn't do my hair, and I don't want to look like a moron.
I would like to tell you that I love wearing hats, but a couple episodes back, you didn't wear a hat, and I thought you had a new haircut, but it wasn't new, and it was just because I haven't seen your head, and I may have never seen your head before. So
Bro,
well, maybe put it back on today, but maybe next week in the future, maybe.
The savagery, I love it.
Maybe I don't know. I think you're a nice looking young man without the hat.
No, I appreciate it, bro. You have nice hair. You have nice flowing hair. I wish I had it. What I'm saying is I wouldn't change. I wouldn't start like styling and having a person follow me around and my family to like take pictures. Like I'm not geared that way. I want to be alone as well. Like I want to go walk out be able to sit on my front porch and not have people bother me, So I totally feel where you're coming from. Like fame isn't a desire of mine at all.
It's never been. I definitely want to garner. Here's the thing. I've always wanted influence though. And there is some similarities, but there is a difference. And definitely it's essentially, I believe the spirit or the heart of the words are different, like fame or influence, but they have a lot of,
They have a lot of similarities.
I want to make this new word, and I'm going to throw it out there. Symogamous. Like I'm trying to make monogamous and synonymous a word. So, synogamous.
Do you know what monogamous means?
Yeah, it means one. But what I'm trying to say is similar and trying to make it synogamous. Is that a word? Synogamous?
So, monogamous
is
means
one.
One.
Yes.
Synonymous.
What does ogamous mean? Because that's what I'm adding. Synogamous.
Ogamous. Ogamous is like
synonym. Nogamous. Ogamous. That's hard.
like that little fish in Nemo. And then he's trying to get on the bus. Man,
I had a friend that looked just like you.
I'm not doing the word thing with you today. I'm just not.
Listen, I'm gonna shout out my old friend when I was a kid. His name was Levi Culver. I might just cut this video and send it to him. But he used to stutter when I was a kid. I don't know if he still stutters.
Poor guy.
But man, have you ever had a friend that stuttered?
Mm-hmm.
Like really? You'd be like, I'd be like, why can't he say it? And you already know what he's going to say because you have the context of the sentence, you know?
Right. You're the one that asked him the question. You said, "What color is that?" And by the time that he answers you, you're like, "Oh."
Well, but he got out blue, and so I already know it's going to be blue.
Right.
You know?
Right. It can't be.
But yeah, man, he's
red.
the only person I've ever known personally that stuttered.
Hey, sometimes it happens.
He didn't sing good, but he could always sing without stuttering.
Maybe he should have just been walking around like this. I want to answer your question.
That'd be a good idea.
So I don't stutter.
And Oral Roberts used to stutter, I believe.
Ooh.
Hey, you ever thought about
No stutter.
the fact that Moses was a man on the run because he murdered someone?
I have thought about that. I thought, Lord, let me kill this person and then bring me back 40 years.
How about Paul and Moses, two of the most famous men in the Bible, were murderers? And that would
cutthroats.
Is there a murderer? Excuse me. Is there a man of God that has committed murder today that we know that's like famous and beloved? I don't think it would happen
because
today.
they wouldn't be famous and beloved. So
yeah, I don't think it would happen today. It's just funny. All these women are like, Paul is my favorite person in the Bible. I love how he used to murder Christians. You know.
He was also really short, I think.
I hear he was pretty ugly. Yeah, I think he was ugly.
Yeah, it's like you love this short, ugly murderer who has no interest in having a relationship,
sexual relationships with you. Yeah,
a relationship with you.
Yeah, he's monogamous with himself. Paul the monogamous.
Paul the monogamous.
But Paul is one of my favorite writers in the Bible. What about you?
I like Peter and James. I mean, it's not that I don't like Paul. Of course, I like Paul.
I could have guessed you were like Peter. Did you see my cut where you were like Peter this week online?
Yep. I did see the cut. I mean,
Peter was,
I like it like
Peter
I like
was
all
too
of them. Like, keep scrolling. No.
Hey, what's it like whenever? Because I purposely don't send you certain things that I'm gonna put out in the universe on social media, but I want to send it to you when I cut it sometimes. I mean, what's it like whenever you just randomly see it on your feed? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good because then you're doing my job for me.
My job?
Yeah. So
yeah.
It makes me feel good. That's
yeah, but would you follow
for.
Our feed if you were like not you in a part of the podcast?
Yeah, I like our content. For sure.
I like our content like better than most people's.
Yeah. I like our content. I would definitely follow us. I would listen to the Back Pew. You don't think you would listen to the Back Pew?
Oh, I was trying to run it back what you said, so I didn't hear you. Yeah, I would definitely listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I probably wouldn't finish every episode. I think, but I would. I just wonder if we should start with like a real solid point in the beginning, and then we would capture people's attention, and then like goof around throughout, or however. I don't know. I would love to hear from people.
I hear you. I would love. That's probably what I want more than anything is for someone to give us feedback on this podcast. I mean, we've had literally thousands now of listeners. No one has given us any feedback.
Well, not really. I mean,
not to
they
the
just
Back
say
Pew.
Good job, or I like it.
Yeah, they say
keep podding. Like
it's like okay, I will keep podding.
And
what else?
Sometimes I feel like Ollie begs people, like, please subscribe to the podcast and please share. And all he's doing is asking, and being sincere. But when I edit it, it sounds like he's begging. So I'm like, hey man, just say like casually, like share the podcast with somebody because it sounds like you're begging. But that's how I feel like doing it now. Like Back Pew, please God. Like I'm about to add it to my prayer list. God, please move on Back Pew listeners' hearts.
Yeah,
to write a review, to tell us some. I don't care. Here's the thing. I remember back in 10 or 15 episodes ago, I was saying, I don't care if you like it, dislike it, just tell us. I don't care if you tell us.
I hate you.
Die.
Go die. Yeah. Go die. Yep.
Yeah.
Go die. Back Pew. Man, I do want to talk about something.
Okay.
You mentioned it last week that we were going to talk about it this week. That why you would really hammer that reading your Bible is more important than doing a devotional. So just kind of wanted to flesh that one out because I completely agree with you, and I think that's a good point to make.
Actually, I actually agree. I'll say I agree, but I didn't say it in the way that you said it. I actually brought it up in a curious way. Like, why is it more important? Because I believe we're taught.
I don't remember exactly.
Yes. Why? I guess I'll just say it like this. Many believers are taught in our circles that reading the Bible is more important than just doing devotionals or whatever. So I guess I'm asking you to start the conversation. And why is it that you believe that we're taught that way? And why do you think that it is more important if you agree?
It is more important.
Okay. Tell us why.
Because reading directly from the Word of God will allow you to hear directly from the Word of God instead of reading in a devotional, which isn't bad. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that it shouldn't be as much of a priority. It shouldn't take up as much time as reading directly the Word of God for two reasons. So you can have context for those little scriptures that are pulled out. Devotionals will take a scripture out of context a lot of the times to get their point across. The problem is that they're coming at it from an angle and pulling out the scripture or a passage of scripture for their point. They're not exactly giving the whole context, because it would take a lot of time to do that. A lot of the times it's related to other points. Sometimes the end of the Bible references the beginning. You got to go through the whole thing to fully understand and grasp what he's talking about at the end. So that's why I would say read the Bible by itself without the devotional. However, the value of a devotional is to add, someone else's knowledge to yours as you study. So it's more of a tool, whereas the Bible needs to be the bread and butter. It needs to be the main course. It needs to be everything. And the devotional can just be like a study guide, But it was interesting that you brought that up, because even though we're taught that way, I feel like when
interesting.
So interesting.
I'm going to do the podcast like this.
Go ahead and do the podcast like that, you weirdo.
I'm just holding the microphone weird. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
You're so weird.
For sure.
I feel like when it comes to practically walking out the Word, people will encourage someone to read the Bible, and then when they realize that they're not, or that they want to talk to them about a specific subject, they come at it from the angle of a book or an angle of a devotional or an angle of this. And maybe that's just because on social media it's easier to repost devotional things, so that's just kind of my slant. And in reality, it's not. But I don't know. Definitely, reading the Bible directly should be more valuable in your life than reading a devotional.
Well, I would say it like this, and I'm really just taking what you're saying, but putting a bow on it, as we like to say.
A good polka dot bow?
Do you like my sexy time voice? Hey.
No. Nobody likes your sexy time voice. No.
No, like I think what you're really saying is, look, it's like the phone game. Instead of getting it from someone else, and because basically someone that's written a devotional has heard from God, they've gotten revelation from the Word, hopefully, and then now they're putting something in a book for you or audio version for you, and basically now they're giving you what God gave them. But first of all, that might not be what you need today. That might not be what you need to hear. So even though I would say oftentimes if you're using a devotional, it's funny how it's very often true that what you read is exactly what you needed, and God uses it, because I believe that God meets you where your heart is.
Where you are. Yeah. For sure.
And he just meets you. So if you're taking a step to get closer to him, God's word says like he's going to take a step closer to you. Seek me and I'll seek you, and blah, blah, blah. So I believe that. So if you're seeking God through the means of a devotional, via devotional, great. But yeah, to your point, it's like, but if you want it clear from God, if you want to hear it firsthand instead of just, because I think it can be muffled, it cannot be as powerful if you get it from a man versus directly from God. Plus, when you get it directly from God, like, no one can take it from you. If you just read something in a book,
Right.
So,
and I think too, it's a bit of an investment, because you read it yourself, the stories in the Old Testament, for example, and then you go to church or you read a devotional or whatever, read a book somewhere else, and they're talking about Jesus and how he references something in the Old Testament. Well, you actually know the story yourself because you read it yourself, instead of just taking their short synopsis.
Yeah.
And so that lets the Lord put things together, the Holy Spirit put things together in your heart while you're listening. And I think that just adds so much more value to your study time, is when you know the material yourself.
Yeah, totally. That's one aspect. But, one of my favorite quotes, I don't know why I said one of my favorites, a quote I like, is. So
it's not your favorite? So it's not one of your favorites?
Definitely not. As a matter of fact, I don't even totally agree, but I like the sentiment. It says, I went from being my favorite quote to I don't even agree.
I don't even agree. Yeah.
But basically, the Bible is the only book that the author loves the reader. You know, right? Because typically, a person loves the author. You know.
Right. They're
So,
like, I love your book.
And I do, yeah, and they don't know anything. It's like when I mentioned Gary Vee. Gary, I'm not committed to Gary. Well, anyway, that's a bad example. So, yeah, man, another point about it is, this is your relationship. Here's another way to put it. It'd be like if I'm trying to develop a relationship with you, but I just go to someone else to learn about you. Like, you got to spend time with somebody, and the way you spend time is communicating. And the way that we can communicate with God is via prayer and via Bible. That's it, the Scripture. So, it's like if you're not reading the Bible, then you're probably not spending any time. Now, you are spending time in prayer. Like, because here's the thing. I remember whenever I went to Canaan Land, I was reading 5 devotionals in a day. I was literally, I think I had traded my drug addiction for devotional addiction. It was weird.
Yeah, you posted something on social media before, and it was like, I'm addicted to Audible or to audio or something like that. I'm an audio
fanatic, yeah.
Fanatic, yeah. And I was like, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, definitely not. It was like a worship album, a Christian podcast, and like
nothing
2
wrong
books.
with that because everybody, there's
bad
there's
example,
a niche.
Ethan.
Sorry. I guess I just mean that I agree with you, what you're saying. I can see what you're saying because I saw it on your social. But I'm not hating because I know people who used to be alcoholics and they trade their alcohol addiction for being fit and working out. And they just take jump ropes and dumbbells with them everywhere they go. And they're like healthy now. And it's like, well, that's good.
Here's the thing. Here's a downside and a plus side. The plus side, which is the reason why people kind of fall into the devotional trap, is because it's easier. It's like going
Way
to church.
easier.
It's already the meal's prepped for you. It's like boom. You don't have to get it ready. You don't have to cook it. You don't have to eat it. It's bam.
Yeah.
But just consume.
Just bam.
Bam. But whenever you go to the Bible, like you gotta decide like where you're gonna go read, how much you're gonna go read, like what it's saying to you. You might have to cross reference something. You might not know what a
God
word
forbid
means.
you have to cross-reference something.
Oh, God forbid. I hate cross-referencing. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I do
That's probably
like?
my favorite thing, honestly.
Oh, I do actually like it a lot.
I do
but
like
it is more. It's like my favorite quote, cross-referencing. But no. But yeah, man, I like to cross-reference a lot. Here's the funny part is I love to study the word, but like I don't do it as much as I really should. And it's just like spending time with God in general. It's like I don't know why I don't do this more, but because I love it,
And you don't think about it until you're in it. And
you're like, why don't I do this
feels
more?
Great. Why wasn't I here this morning?
It's like sex. Why don't I have that more? Oh, because I'm single. Got it. Cut that.
I was definitely going to be like, I was like getting in the pool halfway through the summer. Like, why didn't we get in the pool the rest of the summer? Oh, Will said sex.
That's why I thought Erin did the podcast, because I was like, clearly she didn't know that we should have cut that, because I just say certain things like that, and I just know Ethan's going to cut that.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut that. That was funny.
Okay, I'll come behind you. I don't know. I'll just have to re-listen to it. I'm not opposed to you keeping it. Anyway, so yeah, man, I think devotionals are great. Some of my favorite are In His Presence by Kenneth Copeland, Faith to Faith by Kenneth Copeland. I have one right now that's pretty okay. But you know what is replacing devotionals? Guess. Bible plans, YouVersion. And you know what a goal of mine is? To have a Bible plan in YouVersion. How about that?
That's not a bad.
Would you support my goal, Ethan?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I'll proofread it because you need that.
I do.
Bruh.
Listen, I really am not as bad as it looks.
Back pew, like go back. Anytime if you follow us on social media, and we encourage you to, if you see a typo, just go ahead
comment.
and just let us know. Just be like, hey, Will, I think you messed up, and just and then type a little heart emoji. Just give Will some love because he's struggling sometimes. Sometimes he's out here struggling. Life is rough out here, man.
I just don't proofread. Because I know I typed it in correctly, and why would I need to proofread it? Because I typed it correctly.
Because
that's the part that I don't
That's
think
why you have to.
That's the part that I don't think you believe me in, is that I type it correctly. It genuinely changes it. As a matter of fact, you know what's so satisfying now? Because of you giving me so much grief, I love getting emails from Grammarly telling me how many words it corrected for me. Because the words that you're seeing, those are just the words that I didn't get corrected by Grammarly. I could send you. I should forward every report I get from you. It's like thousands of words that it fixes for me.
Bro, that's so bad.
And they'll
whatever.
find different ways to motivate you. Like, oh, you used 72 unique words this week. Like, what is a unique word? Like, what do you call unique?
Like onomatopoeia.
Yeah, like
that's a unique word. Oh yeah.
I have a sound thing that I downloaded from my computer and it's taking up space, but I don't love all the sounds, but I can re-upload sounds. So you just got to tell me what sounds we want. Matter of fact, if you would just find the sounds for me so I could download them, and then I would just download them, that would be great.
All
but
right,
the one that I want without question is the
we can definitely work on that one for sure.
So I don't know, is there anything else to say about devotionals? Do you have any ones that you like, or any ones you don't like, or any other things about
I do like the devotional that goes along with John Bevere's book Kryptonite.
Okay.
That was a good devotional. There was some stuff in there that I hadn't seen before, and off the top of my head I don't remember what it was, but I remember sitting there going, wow, oh wow, for 3 of those. And I read it on YouVersion, so maybe it was a Bible plan, I don't know, but I actually went and got the book because of that little segment on the YouVersion Bible app, and I read the book, and it's a good book, and whatever. I like that one. I don't think I've read another one. There was one that I saw from, his name is Chris Brown, I think, but it's the guy that sings on Elevation, one of the lead singers for Elevation. Yep. He had a really good one, but that was a while ago. Honestly, I don't really mess with devotionals that much. It's either a book or the Bible for me.
Well, my accountability partner hadn't been asking me about the Bible, so I hadn't been doing much Bible reading. I've been doing a lot of devotionals just because it's easier. So
just because your accountability partner failed you?
Sure. I believe in placing the blame on others, and so the one
you are an American.
What'd you say?
You are an American. I said you
I
are
am
an American, dude.
Yeah.
American male. Blame everybody else.
So here's the thing. I can accept failure. I just can't accept not trying. That's a quote by Michael Jordan that I'm reading right now across the room. It just felt like it was fitting. I don't know if it fit. I just shot my shot. But yeah, the plan that I just finished is called Leadership Ignited, and it's a 5-day, and it's really great. I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to post it this week on the feed, so be looking for it. I'm going to set it for Wednesday, so if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to post it. No, I'm going to set it for Monday.
Yeah, and I guess my last thing about devotional is that, like, maybe journaling is probably a better word for it. But if you can try when you're studying the word to make your own devotional, like write a devotional to yourself, and then go back and read it later.
Wow,
and
that's a good idea.
It's just I've done that before. I write my notes when I'm listening to preaching, like I'm gonna reread it later, and I go back and reread it, and it's just a great way to solidify what the Lord is saying to you in that moment, so that way it's not as easy to forget when a situation arises, and it's really easy to forget in those. And sometimes things catch you off guard. So I think maybe journaling is probably a better word for it, but it's the same concept as a devotional. It's just not something that you want to produce. You don't have to worry about proofreading, or making sense. So you can just kind of jot down your ideas, write a scripture, and then just kind of C-note it. So I think that's probably one thing that I will say about devotionals is the more that you read a devotional, or the more that you read books, it'll probably give you it'll give that more voice inside of you from your spirit, as you hear from the Spirit, as you hear from the Lord, to kind of put that down on paper so you can grow from it later. That's probably one good thing about devotionals. It's because we're not trying to hate on devotionals.
Yeah, no, it's just basically what we're hating on is the trap of falling into leaning more on devotionals than the actual Bible itself, like I have in the last week or two.
Right. And so your accountability partner will step up his game. He will.
Man, how do you know?
I don't, honestly. Let's be honest, dude.
I am a big fan of devotionals. I guess let me ask you this quick question. Do you think that there's any difference in the Bible plans and devotionals, or is it the same thing?
I don't personally don't think that, because it's a short piece that you're supposed to read for a day, or you're supposed to take one day at a time, or go with an event or something like that. So no, I don't really think there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't either.
Not in my experience anyway. It's not like I've seen every Bible plan and every devotional, so I can't really say for sure.
Well, there's some that's 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 30 days.
Right.
Typically, I'd say devotionals are a year, but they definitely have 30 days or whatever.
I've seen a lot of 30 days and stuff. So
I have this one thing. You mentioned journaling. I've only done it a couple of days, and really, I would probably start doing it right now if I could find it. But I bought this book, and I can't remember what it's called. I will follow up next week with this information because I want to share this company. But it is a devotional / journal. Like the way it's supposed to be like a journal / devotional / productivity goal setter thing, all in one. It's like it was this not GoFundMe, but like a Kickstarter. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So I actually helped fund their business by buying the initial purchase, and I really like the concept. I'm a big fan. I know they had a lot of sales from that Kickstarter, but yeah, man, it's like it sets you up for your day. So basically, I think you're supposed to do morning and night devotional time, I want to find that this week, do it, and then come back and report just briefly on it next week and tell you all the name of it. But yeah, man. What else? What else we got? We're kind of coming to a end of the episode here, but
yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I think I'm good.
You good? Well, let's see. Well, everyone, we want to update you that our producer that we introduced you to didn't work out, I guess. So
yeah, we fired her.
Well, Ethan.
It's not like she was getting paid.
But really, she quit because she found a job that paid her more money than us because we didn't pay her.
Hey,
quality
podcasting out here. Quality podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to join our Back Pew podcast and be an intern, we'd love to have you.
But you got to be able
committed.
to commit, but also laugh at our jokes. I feel like a lot of people.
Yeah, you got to feel our vibes.
You got to feel our vibes.
Well,
not that Aaron didn't feel the vibe. Aaron loved the vibe.
No, I felt like Aaron felt the vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm
sad.
Was vibing. But yeah, man, it's a good week. You guys, I just want to encourage you, man. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're gonna wrap up, but basically, man, just be encouraged this week. If you need anything, let us know. We love you. We appreciate you tuning in. You guys are really fantastic, and we just hope to continue to better the content and continue to producing this. And if you would share it with somebody that you think likes podcasts, we would greatly appreciate it. So appreciate y'all.
Amen. If you're watching,
appreciate you, bro.
For sure. I appreciate you, man. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, wherever you get your podcast, be sure to follow us or subscribe or whatever. And then hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @BackPewPod. And we'll be super, like the most happy that you've ever seen anybody to hear from someone who listened to the podcast. And if you leave more feedback, then it's
I'll give you a shout out. How about that? Do you think that's incentivizing at all?
Probably not.
What's incentivizing? I guess I did a gift card. We got some reviews that way. Maybe I need to do another one of those.
Let's do gift cards. Let's maybe do a free T-shirt or something.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
Let's do a free T-shirt.
We need to share some of that. So
yeah.
How about that? I'll just decide right now.
How about that?
I'll do a free shirt in your color, your size. I'm going to pick... How many? You decide. How many reviews do I pick from?
Let's do 5 again.
Okay. 5 people, and I'll just randomly pick one of the 5. So the next 5 reviews, I'm going to give you a free shirt, and we love you for it. So you pick. Anyway, we're out. I'm off to see Bone Thugs.
Go see Bone Thugs, bro.
I used to lie to my mom when I was a kid. When I used to listen to them, I'd be like, "Mom."
We all used to listen. We all used to lie to our moms.
They're talking about God. Don't worry. They're talking about God. The name of the album, which I just looked on Apple Music. I didn't see it, but it was called Resurrection. I was like, Mom, look, they're Christian rappers. Imagine me, like 12 years old, walking around sort of a ghetto neighborhood. Not like ultimate ghetto, but like working on becoming ghetto. I was like walking around with like sagging long shorts, baggy shirts, and a white bandana on my head like I was a thug.
Oh, my God, dude.
We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. What are we against? You don't know. Those thugs. It's the thuggish, ruggish bone. I know you don't know, but I wish you did. That's the one thing I dislike about Ethan is he doesn't know all the rap. So.
Well, my rap, the rap that I know is 10 years older than you.
You might but
younger,
you might know
10 years
something new
younger.
that I don't know. I can
That's what I'm
remember
saying.
2 occasions.
The rap that we know is different.
Yeah, but you put Money in the Bank or that new Drake song. You sent it to me before I knew about it, and then you
Money
said
in the Grave. That's a jam.
Money in the Grave. You told me about T Grizzly, which I was surprised you even knew who that was.
Yeah, I mean, I get down to the gritty. I just don't know the old stuff. Like
that video of your daughter hitting the whoa going up the stairs.
Oh,
the other
dude,
day.
climbing the stairs. She was like,
And it's your daughter's birthday when?
next weekend.
So
Like
we'll
when
have
this-
another podcast.
Huh?
Will we have another podcast, or should we wish your daughter happy birthday on this one?
No, we'll have another podcast to wish your happy birthday.
Okay. All right, man. I'm out. Peace.
Peace, brother.